The fall of the sun. As we see within the world today, pieces of the jigsaw are beginning to fall into place, screws slowly tightening, the noose gradually strangling our nations to death. We see that the US has just exited from Afghanistan in a most egregious manner. Egregious to the US nation's long-term interests, of course, on the face of it at least. It is very much a propelling of China's interests. However, the real string pullers of these regimes have interconnected interests and are very much in lockstep with one another. Is this military exit from Afghanistan merely a way to then redeploy these combat soldiers for the inevitable, mandatory thing we cannot say? Digressing, the Taliban have reportedly claimed 85% of the territory of what is Afghanistan, either through direct or de facto control, naturally bolstered by the various armaments and military vehicles fortuitously left behind for them by the US military. Afghanistan is aptly titled the Graveyard of Empires, and it seems the pertinacious nation has claimed yet another victim. The US look weak, they sound weak, and they have a weak leader. This is so blatant, and it seems it has been made intentionally so. This would seem like the comparative examples of the past, an artificial collapse of a civilization for the purposes of recreating the political landscape anew, whilst the string pullers maintain their power and wealth, scurrying away to their new abodes in their newly chosen host country. Within Cuba we have an uprising, South America is teetering on economic and political implosion, France has donned the motto of Égalité, Fraternité, Tyranny, with the new dictate from His Majesty King Macron himself regarding vaccine passports, consequently starving the unvaccinated by making an up-to-date vaccine passport a legal requirement to enter stores. And the pièce de résistance, the unstoppable riots in South Africa, spurred on by economic deprivation and political disunity. All of these problems are combined with coincidental crop failure due to a record-breaking heatwave in certain parts of the world. For instance, in Canada, we see 54 degrees Celsius at highs in some places, unprecedented and suspicious. Could this be intentional via weather modification technology? Possibility is ever present due to the rapacious nature of the state, on full display with this current contrived event. The world and where it is going is clear to see. On the face of it, the US is crumbling quickly, and before the end of the decade, major political and economic changes will take place, ensuring its demise. It is indeed the sick man of the world. This will be followed by a cascading effect upon the European sphere and any other nation in the geopolitical and economic orbit of influence of the US. China may come out looking like the dominant force from this, and they will most likely have their turn at trying to pacify Afghanistan sooner or later. However, taking a more holistic view of the situation, we see that with the destruction comes the enhanced opportunity of reimagining. Is this artificial collapse merely another avenue of leverage to be used against the populace? With a populace starving, without their savings, and scrambling for tangible normality, would this allow for the instituting of the type of society they wish for? A digital prison complex that is incorporated into our very biological systems? Indeed, I believe it is. The geopolitical shenanigans and the seemingly natural decay of the system could purely be grand ploys to facilitate panic and the injecting of more fear into the tired old beast of the public. In such a state, people would become mere putty in the hands of anyone who could carve some order out of a digressionary chaos. It is a thought at least. Then we have the moral and cultural degradation, which ultimately takes on a kind of mass demoralization tactic, and this also has a compounding effect upon the other various civilizational dysfunctions taking place concurrently with it. Now we have the rather germane and wonderful example of the, quote, rainbow dildo butt monkey, unquote, which was booked by Redbridge Council in England as a means to encourage children to read. Yes, to encourage children to read. This echoes the legitimation by paralogy concept of leotard, but I have covered that extensively in other videos. However, the rationale behind this move is clearly vacuous. It seems to have been a move to repugnantly sexualize children and force a twisted sickness into their minds, pushing the frontiers of normalcy even further over the edge of the cliff. Small acts like this, the proverbial pushing of the Overton window, is what destroys a society by poisoning the source of its future. It's youth. Youth are like gold to a civilization. They are precious and must be guarded against all foe and friend alike. However, within the oh-so-modern West, such common sense departed long ago, and in its stead was placed the jester who wears the crown, and its name is insanity. Uprisings will become apparent within nations, and these will be brutally resisted by the regime. But we must stay the course and see the cause through to its completion, or the premature terminus of our time upon this realm, hence setting sail for the other realm to come. Climate lockdowns will be realised too. Due to their weather modification at present, the heat wave being experienced seemingly everywhere is not natural and is being utilised as a means to provide a justification for climate lockdowns and for ensuring food and logistical breakdown. They will use this as a means of thinning the herd too. Yes, thinning the herd. My new information gleaned from research papers regarding GRAPHENE is very much gobsmacking, and will explain all of this needlecraft event. However, please subscribe to my BitChute or Odyssey channel, links in the description, for that special and controversial report. Where is this all going? Well, to anyone with half a brain, it is going to a world where life is monopolised and centrally controlled and micromanaged. This may be done by several means. I have covered a few, although the main point is that if people wish to escape this common system, then they must unite and do so quickly. Revolution shall be the bridge onto the new dawn, where we shall charter a new course for the species, a course unhindered by tyrant and fear alike.